Hello everybody, welcome to Shane and Stuff. Are you ready to get your Eldritch Horror on? Are you ready to watch an inanimate object kick my butt? Because that's pretty much what's going to happen. I am going to play Eldritch Horror with the Cities in Ruin expansion. And first I played this with only the Mythos cards from the expansion, and they were hard, and I decided, never mind, I'll mix those in. But I just got a request from a user, Mateus Montanari, I hope I said your name okay, who is from Brazil and wanted me to do Cities in Ruin with the Mythos cards only from there, like I did with my Dreamlands playthrough. So I'm going to oblige that and give this a go. You will probably be witnessing me dying a horrible death as the world crumbles into ruin, but it's going to be fun. This is also my first video since getting a lapel mic as a gift from my friend John. Thanks again, John. And so my voice will hopefully be even nicer than it was before. I'd just like to thank everyone out there who's been watching my videos, giving me all the feedback. I appreciate it all, good and bad. I try to take it all to heart and see how I can improve these. So please let me know in the comments after this or during this or whatever what you think. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. So I've set up most of the game so far, and this is a really interesting setup. This is going to be fun because I have Bob Jenkins here who starts in London, and you'll notice that London got a gate, a clue, and a monster. Well, the monster came with the gate, but yeah, that clue literally actually spawned. And if you don't know, when you draw clues from the bag, well, I have a bag, but instructions tell you to make a token pool, but I use a bag because it's kind of easier. And you draw it, and you then look under it, and you put it where it's at. So I seriously randomly drew London, so I got a clue, a gate, monster all with me there. Rome starts in ruin just because of Shudmel. So also with Shudmel, you place one Eldritch token on space 2, 5, 8, and 11 on the Doom track. Plus it said Rome is devastated, and so as a Doom counter comes down the track, when it hits one of those tokens, we draw and resolve a disaster card. And if any city is in ruin, then the city no longer functions like it used to. It's not a city space. It also can't do any of the improved things. You can't draw a general encounter or location encounter, but you can have a devastation encounter by drawing from this deck. So it's got some interesting stuff. I've done a couple of them in the couple of games I've played. It's really cool. This deck is awful, absolutely awful. Cities go into ruin if you're in it or near it. It's not good. You'll see. So anyway, this setup looks really fun. Right now, the expedition encounter is on San Francisco, and the starting assets I got are all really interesting. So I have the rumor mill, where I can just gain a clue when I get that card. The magic shop, where I can just gain 2 spells immediately. Then I have to discard a spell and this card. It's a good, easy way to get spells. I have tear gas, which allows me to re-roll up to 2 dice when resolving strength test during combat encounter. Also, it reduces the monster's damage by 2 to a minimum of 1, which is really good because there's a gnarly monster that comes with Shudmel. If I have to fight it, that might be very helpful, or I might use it before then, I don't know. And then I have the Sanctuary card, which allows me to immediately discard a condition. So if I end up getting cursed, I can just draw that and get rid of it. Okay, so in addition to Bob Jenkins, I'm playing with Ashcan Pete. He starts in Scandinavia, which is also known as Space 14, because as we all know, Scandinavia was the 14th country in the world. No, I don't know it. Maybe it was the 13th. Anyway, Ashcan Pete starts with Duke, his faithful dog. So once per round, I can reroll a die when resolving a test, and I can also recover an additional sanity with this, which is nice. I start with only 5 and 7. They're both 5 and 7. So Ashcan is allowed to move 1 space along a train path before performing an additional action. So it can actually allow him to move pretty far in a turn if he moves a train path first, and then does a move action, and then spends any tickets that he has. He's a drifter, so he can get pretty far pretty fast. He's good at that. Also, after he performs a unique assets action, he can then gain an item or trinket from the discard, which is interesting because, when you do an acquire assets action, if you don't want to gain an asset, you can simply put one of them into the discard pile. So essentially, that's what he does for the action. So after that, he can then pull it right back. So it's a good way for Ashcan to get stuff if he fails, as long as there's an item or trinket in the reserve there. So Bob Jenkins, he's the salesman. So he can trade any number of item or trinket possessions with another investigator on any space. So they don't have to be in the same space. So it's nice to start with him. So also when he performs an acquire assets action, the value of every card in the reserve is reduced by 1 to a minimum of 1. So So he's got an influence of 4. So he's really good at getting items and he can trade them anywhere. And Ashcan's good at pulling items out of the discard. So it's a pretty good combo here. So they each also start with a clue. Also, they are both from the Cities in Ruin expansion as well. So I'm playing basically everything Cities in Ruin. The Ancient One, characters, the whole Mythos deck is constructed from only Cities in Ruin Mythos, and all the rest. Everything else is mixed into all the other decks, of course. And I'm playing with You Know What You Must Do Prelude card. So let's read. You stand now upon the precipice of oblivion, the tides of chaos flowing about you in violent eddies. Screams of sorrow and anguish rise from each ripple, echoes of the forgotten past remembered anew as the tempest ebbs and flows. A thundering pulse rips through your being, the roar of the tide but a whisper before its majesty. Your breath catches as the claws of fear tighten around your throat. Before you looms a threat, terrible and glorious, but at the same time hollow, like a marionette dancing upon silken strings. Only you can see beyond the veil. Only you can see the puppet's master. Coughing and sputtering, you will wake in some damp, dark alley, sobbing uncontrollably. He is coming. That sounds delightful, doesn't it? So after resolving setup, advance Doom by 3. Ooh, boy, isn't that fun? 1, 2, 3. So I'm already within 1 of hitting that first Eldritch token, which means I will draw a disaster card. The lead investigator gains 1 for the greater good unique asset, and each other investigator gains a clue. So I've already given Ashcan Pete the for the greater good asset. Here's another clue to Bob Jenkins. So the for the greater good unique asset is, at the end of the Mythos phase, you may spend clues equal to number of investigators to sacrifice yourself for the good of all mankind. Flip this card. I got to do this in one of the games I've played so far of Cities in Ruin, and it's got a pretty powerful effect on the other side. It's basically sacrificing yourself to try to get back in the game. It actually really helped. It destroyed a couple monsters, I think, and I don't know, it was pretty good. And of course, Bob Jenkins starts with the Winchester rifle, which is +4 strength once per round during a combat encounter, so he's pretty good. So we're going to take out that hunting horror pretty quickly, says I. We'll see what the game has to say about that. Alrighty. So let's read the mystery card and then let's get to it. The Bringer of Ruin. Every 23 years, the great worm Shudmel returns to the lost city of Garn to commune with his children, stirring them into a frenzy and inciting them to bring ruin to the civilized cities above. After an investigator resolves a research encounter, he may spend 1 clue he gained from that encounter and place that clue on this card. At the end of the Mythos phase, if there are clues on this card equal to the number of investigators, solve this mystery. All right, so I just got to go get some clues, and I'm already with a clue. So Bob's just got to kill that monster, encounter the clue, and get it, and then I can already have a clue on this card. Then I got to get more clues out there. So London also allows you to spawn clues, so should be able to do that next encounter phase. So that's the first mystery. Alrighty, let's go. Okay, so I was going to start with Ashcan Pete as the lead investigator, but I think I'm going to start with Bob, because if he does an acquire assets but then fails, he can put that in the discard pile, and a new one can come out to give Ashcan a choice of more things. So although, you know what, I can't even do that this turn, so it doesn't really matter. Since I have a monster on my space, I can't acquire assets or rest, so I'm definitely going to start with a focus for Bob. And then I may as well prepare for travel. And at this point, I'm not sure exactly what kind of tickets I might need, but I'm going to take a railroad ticket because I think that can get me more useful transportation. If I wanted to go to San Francisco, I can take travel the ship and then use the ticket to get over there. If I wanted to go to maybe Shanghai or Tokyo to kill monsters, if monsters become a problem. It's still early though, so who knows. So now it's Ashcan Pete's turn, and I think what I actually want to do is focus and move to Rome. So I'm going to have a devastation encounter. So right off the bat, you can see what that's all about. All right, so that's the end of the actions phase. Time for encounters. So Bob Jenkins needs to fight this hunting horror. All right, so will -1 check. Ooh, I got to beat a 3. Yikes, my will is 2. Well, looks like I'm going to take some sanity damage here. Success, but I still got to take 2 sanity damage because I had to beat a 3. Boink, boink. I like to put counters on for what you've taken as opposed to putting your max and pulling it away. Now I have a strength test. Now to fight it, I got to beat strength of 2 to not take any damage, and I gotta give it 3 damage to kill it. So my strength is 3, plus the 4 for my Winchester rifle. And since it's only once per round, I'm just gonna tap that. Woo! 5, 5, 6. So he's basically dead, and another 6. So the hunting horror is gone. Back into the monster cup with you. So now that I have no monsters on my space, I can have a token or location encounter. So I'm going to encounter the clue token. So I'm going to have a research encounter, the Shudmel research encounter. And I'm on a city space. You hear a weak cry for help as you pass a collapsed building and try to find the victim. Observation -1. So 1. Yay! I rolled a 1. So let's spend the focus token. 5. Oops. 5. Alright, success. If you pass, you find someone trapped beneath a fallen pillar. Gain a random ally asset from the deck. Sweet! And if you haven't watched my other video, I don't like to read the other things. I only like to read what's relevant because it leaves... This game already has so much content, but it's the best when you just don't read ahead, don't read the backs of things, don't read spell effects. It's so much fun just to experience this as it happens. It makes it feel like a real adventure. So I get 1 random ally asset. And the winner is Security Squad. When resolving a combat encounter, you may resolve an influence test in place of the strength test, using the same test modifier. Ooh. Well, that's cool. My influence is 1 higher. So I like that. Thank you, Security Squad. Wow, any combat encounter. Sweet. Oops. Well, this is technically still tapped. Okay, so... Oh, wait a minute. So I got the ally asset, but I did not gain the clue. That doesn't get me further in the mystery because I have to spend a clue I gained from that encounter, and I did not. All right, so that's Bob's encounter. So now Pete's gonna have a devastation encounter. Are you ready? You ready for this? Rescue efforts have stopped due to wild animal attacks. Resolve the pass effect to try convincing authorities to renew their attempts to reach survivors, or resolve the fail effect to enter the ruined city alone. Huh. So convince the authorities, or go it alone? I think I'll go it alone. I kind of glanced, I saw the influence, and I have crappy influence, so let's just try the alone. It's observation, which is better. Yay, okay. You try to sneak through the rubble. Observation test. 3. Pass. If you pass, the people you have saved thank you with what little they have to offer. Gain a random item asset from the deck. Yay! Not bad. So that's interesting, right? It kind of has you choose pass or fail depending on what you want to do, different than regular encounters. Alright, so I get 1 random item. Alright, so I got a Mauser C96, which is the starting weapon of one of the other dudes that are new in this... Roland Banks are new in this expansion. It's a weapon I can gain +2 strength during combat encounters, and I may reroll a die resolving a strength test during a combat encounter. Yes! Pete just became a little stronger. That is good. So it is time for the Mythos. Alrighty. Advance the Omen track. Hits blue. I have a blue gate. Uh-oh. So that advances the Doom track, and it's going to hit the token, which triggers Shudmel. When a Doom advances to a space containing Elder token, draw and resolve a disaster. Then discard the Elder token. Well, I'll discard the Elder token first. What are you going to do? Here we go, everybody. Disaster. Earthquake hits San Francisco. So much for that encounter. Whatever. Expedition encounter. The ground itself rises and plunges ferociously. Bridges twist and contort, heaving those passing over them into the bay. Each investigator on San Francisco or an adjacent space loses 3 health and 3 sanity and becomes delayed. San Francisco is devastated. See? Told you that sucks. Had I been even within 1 space of it, well, Bob would have been done. He would have been full sanity gone. So when something's devastated, you put the devastation token, the big eye. So if that's devastated now, then and it can't be San Francisco anymore, so it's Tokyo. So the rules say to go search through the deck and pull out all of the encounters that go with it. I'll just discard them if they come up. That was the Devastation encounter. Thanks, Shodmel. So now we have the Reckoning. And of course the Reckoning is monsters first. There's no monsters. Ancient one sheet. Each investigator loses a total of 2 health and or sanity. So I'm gonna go 2 health from both right now. Just because they're both lower on the sanity side. So then you have a Reckoning on any Mythos cards in play. There are none. Then any possessions, which are none. Then we spawn a gate. Where is it? Tokyo. Ha. So now Tokyo has a gate. And the expedition counter. And of course, you always spawn a monster when you spawn a gate. What did I get? A flying polyp. I swear, this monster comes up every game I play of Eldritch Horror. It just sounds like the most disgusting thing. Yeah, it's gross. So there's a flying polyp in Tokyo. Who knew? Alrighty, so now you receive an anonymous invitation to join an elite scholastic society that would allow you to indulge in the recuperative powers of their underground hot springs and join the other guests in studying just about any athletic, academic, or artistic pursuit you can imagine. Sounds great! A spa resort weekend. Each investigator resolves one of the following effects. Recover 1 health and 1 sanity. Lose 1 health and 1 sanity to gain a talent condition. Screw you! I'm recovering health and sanity. So we'll do 1 health and sanity here. Well, you know what, actually? Maybe... forget it. You know what, Ashcan, I'm going to take another health and 1 sanity, because he can always get an extra sanity when he rests because of Duke. Although I can't currently rest in Rome. Oh yeah, I can. No, I can't. Because it doesn't count as a city space. But anyway, I'm going to get a gain a talent condition. From the first talent condition that came up from the bottom of the deck is Resilient. Once per round, when you would lose health, you may test Strength. If you pass, prevent the loss of up to 2 health, then flip this card. Not bad. Not bad, okay. And that basically does it for the Mythos. The round is done. Okay, so now back to actions. It's not good to have gates open, because that'll advance Doom when it comes back around. So one of my guys is going to have to try to close that gate. And one of them is going to have a London encounter to try to spawn some clues, because I need to gain some clues to solve the mystery. So I'm going to move Ashcan Pete into London. Well, of course, actually, Bob is technically the lead investigator, so I gotta do him first. So, I'm gonna focus again. That was a nice token, helped me succeed. And then I'm going to do an Acquire Assets action. So, 2 successes. So I'm gonna get the Tear Gas, which is 1 success, which allows me to discard to reroll up to 2 dice when resolving a strength test during a common encounter. And then I'm also going to get the Rumor Mill, which I get a clue as soon as I get this card. Then it gets discarded. Put the discard there. So here we go. 1 more clue. I got lots of clues, but I need to acquire them from a research encounter. That's 2 actions for Bob. So again, Ashcan's going to move in. And I should probably just do another... Oh, let's replace... Got the Enchanted Bow and the Holy Cross. The Holy Cross gain +2 will during combat encounters. That's nice. The Enchanted Bow, it's a magical weapon, gain +3 strength during combat encounters. Ew. That's sweet. Well, you know what? Nothing to combat at the moment. I should watch what I say. But as an action, a monster of your choice on your space loses... Dude, that bow is awesome. Oh, but I do already have the Mauser. Gain +2 strength. And I can reroll. +3 strength. Well, they're both good. Sometimes you end up losing items. So, yeah, why not? I'm going to do an Acquire Assets. So, of course, when you do Acquire Assets, if you're unable or choose not to acquire anything, you can just discard. So, my Acquire Assets action, I'm going to discard. And now, after I perform an Acquire Assets action, I can gain 1 item or trinket with value less than your observation. Oh, no! It's equal to my observation. Forgot about that part. Didn't fully read that, did I? Well, you know what? I guess I will just get the Rumor Mill and I'll get another clue. Here we go. Well, that was kind of wonky, but such is this game with so many options. Okay, so I'm feeling good about Bob taking on the research encounter, and if he fails, Ashcan can try it. Otherwise, Ashcan's going to have a London encounter to try to spawn some clues, so that gate's going to remain open. Here we go. No one else seems to notice the shaman that stands in the street before you, adorned with gold and bone, hand outstretched in silence. You may gain a dark pact condition to gain this clue, and one additional clue. Well, of course I'm going to do that. So gain one dark pact to gain this clue and an additional clue. All right. So I'm going to gain this clue. And I'm going to put it on the mystery because after I resolve research encounter, I could spend a clue he gained and put it on this card. So one more clue here and I solve this mystery. But now I need a dark pact condition. So there we are, dark pact. So when the reckoning comes up, I have to roll a die, and on a 1, I got to flip the card. So I'll put that there. Okay, so now Ashcan Pete's going to have a London encounter. All right, London. The Cuming Museum is protected by powerful magic, but a stranger asks you to steal an exhibit, promising a great reward in return. You may gain a cursed condition to spawn one clue on a space of your choice and gain a promise of power condition. What? Okay, well, I'm going to get the cursed condition because, gosh, I wouldn't even be able to, well, I might be able to get rid of it with the sanctuary if I take a debt later, but oh boy. Well, I need clues, right? Yep, I do need clues out there to solve the mystery. So I gotta do it. So cursed means that successes are only on 6s. Hooray. Well, I can spawn it on a space of my choice. I don't know what the promise of power is, so let's see. Hold on a second. Let me get these things. Okay, so got my cursed condition. Ugh. Only 6 kind of successes. If I gain another curse, flip it instead. I can discard it with, if I get a blessed condition. And with the reckoning, roll a die. 4, 5, or 6. Discard it. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so that's there. My promise of power is a deal. I can discard this card to reroll any number of dice when resolving a test. So that's cool. And reckoning comes up on a 6. I have to flip this card, which is probably not good because it's a deal. The longer I hold on to that, the more chance it has to do something weird. So the London encounter is finished, and I get to spawn a clue on a space of my choice. So I think I'm just going to keep it where I'm at because I need to close this gate. I need to spawn more clues probably. We'll see. So we're not really going anywhere right now. And it's Mythos time. All right, spawn a clue. Yay! Doot, doot, doot. We have Arkham. One space away. Not bad. Now we have a rumor in Tunguska. And we're gonna need 3 Eldritch tokens. All right. A consortium of astronomers and geologists has sent you to find samples of the stones that impacted the Earth's surface here. They believe they can predict when and where meteorites will strike next by examining the stones. Exploring the crater, ongoing rumor. As an encounter, an investigator on Tunguska may search for samples of the meteorite that fell there. Observation. Both okay. He may spend clues equal to half the investigators, so 1, to solve this rumor. Oh, okay. When there are no Eldritch tokens on this card, your honors all 2 disasters. Ugh. So, a reckoning, discarding Eldritch tokens. So I have 3 reckonings to do this. And I gotta test. I just need a clue when I go there. So I don't like to say this in this game. It's not so bad. So I'll put this guy right there to remind us we've got a thing out there. Put 3 tokens here. Boop, boop, boop. And we are back to actions. All right, so Bob's going to rest, heal both his health and sanity, and then he's going to do an acquire assets action again. Okay, 0, count them, 0 successes. So anything I don't want in there? The Dream Diary is kind of, I'm gonna get rid of that. And instead we get an investment task. Your investment has paid off. You may discard this card to gain a funding condition. Huh, interesting. That's when a reckoning comes up after you've gained that card. Okay, so Ashcan Pete's gonna rest. With Duke, he would be able to get rid of another sanity, but he only has 1 sanity damage. And he is going to do an acquire assets as well, even though he only has 1 influence, but 0 successes. But I'm gonna take a debt condition so that I can gain the sanctuary. so that I can immediately discard a condition. And so the Curiosity Shop comes up. When you gain this card, immediately gain an artifact. Ooh, artifacts are wonderful. So I'm getting rid of my horrible cursed condition because they're horrible. So now 5s and 6s count as successes again. All right, time for encounters. So Bob is going to encounter the the clue token with a research encounter. A high-strung police officer demands that you hand over your weapons. Influence -1. Oof, good thing I've got 4 influence. Bam. If you pass, he calms down and you learn that recent cult activity has the police on edge. Gain this clue. Hey! Alrighty, got the clue. So I'm going to put it on the mystery. So after the Mythos phase, I can solve the mystery. Alright, so it's Ashcan's turn. I'm going to encounter the gate, try to close it. The Dreamlands. A student of the occult has gotten lost in the Dreamlands. The young man introduces himself as Edward Derby. He has a ritual for returning home, but he needs your help to interpret it. Lore -1, which is 2. Fail, but let's use my focus to reroll one of these. Got it. So on these cards, if you pass the top, you read this. If you fail the top, you go to the bottom. So here we go. His ritual works. Close this gate. Derby's grateful wife wants to help you, but something about her fills you with dread. Will -1. Failed, but Duke allows me to reroll 1 die when resolving a test. Ooh, okay, I don't want to fail. So let's spend a clue. I don't want to spend the other clue, so see what happens. If you fail, you cannot be near her. Lose 2 sanity and gain a paranoia condition. That's great. Well, at least I closed the gate, right? Right? It's worth it. So the gate's closed. Lose 2 sanity. It's alright. I can gain both sanity back with Duke and gain a paranoia condition. Alrighty. Alright, so I have my paranoia condition. When I perform a rest action, I may roll 1 die. On a 5 or 6, discard this card. Something happens with the reckoning. Alright, so that's it for encounters. Time for the Mythos phase. Alright, advance the Omen track. But now we have a reckoning, so we have monsters first. So the flying polyp. Move it to the nearest space containing a gate. It's already on the gate. Then Chaudemel. Each investigator loses a total of 2 health and or sanity, so take 1 of each again for Bob, but I'll take 2 health with Ashcan. Well, so that's 4 now. I've got 3 here. Oh yeah, I better take that, so I'm at 3 health and 3 sanity. Yikes! And Mythos card, I could discard an Eldritch token from this card. Now, possessions and conditions. So let's do, well, Bob is the lead investigator. So, roll a die on a 1. It's time to fulfill your bargain. Flip this card. Oh, man. It's off screen, but I assure you. Why would I lie about a bad thing? Okay. Unbreakable oath. You have begged those around you to never speak of the name... You have begged those around you to never speak the name of the unspeakable one. But now that it has been spoken, you speak the unspeakable spoken name of speaking. Sorry. Let's start again. Start again. Sometimes these cards are funny. You have begged those around you to never speak the name of the unspeakable one. But now that it has been spoken, you may pay the cost. You must pay the cost. I'm doing well. You must pay the cost. Impair each of your skills twice? What? That is not funny. I don't like this. This dark pact. Who the heck? Each skill twice. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so basically... I'm at 1 of everything, because you can't go to 0. So I'm at 1 of everything except influence. I'm at 2. That's phenomenal. That's wonderful. It bodes well. See, the problem was, I thought in my mind, I'm doing pretty good. This is going well. You know, of course, right before I solve a mystery. Anyway, enough of my whining. Okay, so that was the reckoning for Bob. Now, Pete has a paranoia, promise of power, and a debt condition. Ugh. I'm just gonna go left to right, I guess. So, we'll do paranoia. So, test will. If you fail, flip the card. You gotta be kidding me. I'm gonna spend this clue. I don't like this. Reroll a die. Nope. That was a waste. Okay. Kleptomania. Against rational thought, you compulsively take what does not belong to you and hide it away. Gain a random... What? Gain a random item asset. Okay. Then you must hide from the authorities. Okay, observation check. Okay. Random item. The first thing is an item. It's the Spirit Dagger. I also see this weapon a lot. Gain +1 will and +2 strength during combat encounters. It's okay. That's pretty good, but I got other weapons too. Okay, now I got to test observation, which is 3. I'm not rolling these the way I usually do. See that? Nope, that didn't work either. I failed. If your test result is less than the value of the asset you gained, well, it was 0, discard that asset and gain a detained condition and discard this card. We're doing good, guys. All right. Welcome to Eldritch Horror. It's here. We've arrived. We have arrived. Full-blown Eldritch Horror. Get rid of the item and gain a detained condition. Okay, so being detained, you cannot move or perform actions other than the action on this card. And instead of resolving an encounter, flip it. But I can do a local action is the only thing I can do. Test influence, which of course I have 1. And then discard the card. Okay, so I'm detained. So, to the next Reckoning card. We're like only, we're still trying to get through this, guys. All right, so, but it's not a bad one. It's got the little snowflakey ice crystal, whatever those are. The light, angel light, I don't know. So the deal, roll a die on a 6. Your patience is blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. Ha! Whew. Finally, when I didn't want to roll high, I didn't. Okay. Okay, so I'm okay there. Still have that. Should probably use that soon before it comes to bite me. Debt, flip the card. Poisoned meal. Oh, bad dates. Your creditors seem almost forgiving when you tell them you cannot pay your dues. They beg you not to worry. But their kind expressions change as you eat the meal they've offered you. Gain a poisoned condition. And discard it. Okay. So now I'm gonna be poisoned. So now I'm poisoned. So when I perform a rest action, I cannot recover health or sanity, and I flip the card. That's so good because, I'm at 3 and 3, so it's not a problem, right? All right, so finally done with the reckoning. Now we gotta spawn a gate. And the Himalayas. Himalayas! What's that, Bugs Bunny? Abominable snowman. Let's see. Hey, just a cultist. Just a cultist. Okay, so that's the end of the reckoning. We got to do a spawn a gate, which I already did. I forgot to put my mic back on after I took a little break. So I got the Himalayas. I drew a cultist. So put a cultist in the Himalayas. So the cultists with should Mel has no horror. So we strength -1 with a reckoning. If there's a cultist out there, roll a die 1 or 2 advanced doom. Ew. It's interesting. Okay, so they're kind of weak, but they advance doom if they're on the board. All right, so let's get on with the Mythos. All it took was some gasoline, a match, and the right warding symbol to keep the thing trapped in the garage. People watched the fire rage unchecked all night, and afterward, the grateful police found no reason to pursue the matter any further. Well, whatever happened, it wasn't good. Burn it all down. Event. The lead investigator chooses 1 monster on any space. That monster loses 3 health. Alrighty, so... Well, I could tear the flying polyp down to 1, or I could just kill the cultist. Alright, I think I'm going to take the flying polyp down to 1 because I'm going to need to close that gate probably in Tokyo because there's 2 blue omens on the omen track, so that'll just be advancing Doom a lot. The cultist will advance Doom, but I have to roll a die for that to happen, and he's pretty easy to kill, so if I could just get over there, I don't know. Seems like a good idea right now. We'll see how that pays off later. But that ends the Mythos Phase. We can now solve the mystery. So the Mythos Phase, the clues on this, solve the mystery. So now we draw the next mystery. The Burrowers Beneath. Beneath the Earth's crust, the eldest of Shudmel's children burrow between continents, creating tremors of increasingly worrisome magnitude and frequency. When this card enters play, spawn a number of ancient Catonian epic monsters equal to half the number of investigators, each on a random city or wilderness space. At the end of the Mythos Phase, if all the ancient Catonian epic monsters have been defeated, solve this mystery. Okay. So I get an ancient Catonian, which I've set aside. Random city or wilderness space. Wilderness. Alright, so first random is Antarctica. That is a ocean space. 10 is a wilderness space. So, alright, it's not that far. So with the Catonian, if the reckoning happens, each investigator on this space loses a health and a sanity. It's will -1, strength -2. Gotta kill it with 5. If only that came out after that other thing. Could have taken it down. Okay, but I got some interesting tools in my arsenal here. Still got my Winchester rifle, and I can use my influence in place of my strength. So I can still have a 2 instead of a 1, and that +4 is still 6, but 6 -2, so it's going to be 4. But I have the tear gas too, where I can reroll dice and reduce the monster's damage by 2. So the damage of this one is 3, so it would be 2. It'd be 1. Okay, so I think Bob is kind of not very useful anymore after getting that hard hit last round. So, and I've got a lot of rerolls here, and plus the tear gas and everything. I'm just going to see how much I can damage this Catonian. So he's going to basically prepare with a ship ticket and then move and use the ship ticket, get to the Ancient Catonian. Now Ashcan Pete, since he's detained, all he can do, I can do the local action. Test influence, which is a 1. A 4. That's no good. Well, I'm going to use Duke because I'm useless if I can't go anywhere or do anything. Well, oh well. So as an encounter, I'll be flipping the card. Maybe I'll get rid of it then. Yeah, I think the detained only lasts like a round. But if you could get rid of it that first action, you could then take another action. Okay, so Bob is going to fight the Ancient Catonian. So, this is not good, is it? Will -1 to beat a 2, so he's 1. -1 is not 0, but 1 in this game. A 4, so 0. So I'm going to take 2 sanity there. I'll just change it to 3. Now I got strength -2. So I'm going to use the security squad to test influence in place of strength, so it's a 2 right now. Plus my Winchester rifle once per round. I could gain +4 strength during a combat encounter. Okay, so I had to go confirm some rules. And first of all, with the modifiers, you cannot get a impairment that'll take your skill to below 1. So the 2s will only have a -1, put them at 1. So, in fact, I don't know, there could be an argument maybe I can't even receive because it's said to, oh, well, also you treat a -2 as 2 separate -1s. So I end up only with a -1 on these. This is still a -2 because it's at 1, and this is still a -2, so it's at 2. But now, when you're determining dice pools, okay, so this is interesting when you're doing a test. It's not just this is 2, okay? So you start with a number equal to the skill, which is 4. Then you apply the modifier, which is the -2, so it's at 2. See, then if you have an improvement token, but in this case it's an impairment token, you modify it with that. So now it's another -2, so now it's down to 1. So then plus my 4 for my Winchester is 5. So I was thinking it was 2 plus 4 is 6. So in actuality, I'm only rolling 5 dice. So here we go. Okay, I only got one success. So first, let's spend my focus token. I'll put that here. Reroll another die. Reroll one of these. All right, there we go. So that's 2 successes. Then I'm going to use my tear gas. So I'm going to discard this to reroll up to 2 dice. I'm resolving a strength test. Huh. I think technically I'm resolving a influence test because I'm resolving an influence test in place of the strength test. So literally influencing my security squad to fight for me. So the tear gas, I cannot reroll 2 more dice. But I can reduce the monster's damage by 2. Otherwise, well, it's already reduced by 2 because of my... All right, so I'm not going to use my tear gas. So 2 successes, I'm going to take 1 damage and take it down 2 notches. 1 damage for me, 2 damage for the Ancient Catonian. All right, so now it's Pete's turn with his detain. Instead of resolving encounter, flip this card. Contaminated water. Your captors question you for days without food or water. The only source of water you can find in your cell comes from a rusty pipe in the wall. Spend 1 clue or test observation -1. I have no clues. So, 2 dice. I pass. If you fail, blah, 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 or then discard. Yay, no longer detained. Okay. Okay, so that's it, because I was instead of resolving an encounter, so I don't think I get to try to do one now that it's gone. That's end of encounters. Let's have a Mythos, spawn a clue, and we have a rumor in the heart of Africa. Himalayas. Everything's popping up in the same places. Somehow the Chthonians had been imprisoned in Garn. If you cannot find out how this was done, the creatures will run rampant across the world, leaving humanity in ruins. Return to Garn. Ongoing rumor. As an encounter, an investigator on the heart of Africa may search for the symbol that once held the Chthonians at bay. By testing observation, he may spend clues equal to number of investigators to solve the rumor. Ay, ay, ay. So, on a reckoning, I have to draw and resolve a disaster unless the lead investigator spends a clue. Yikes. Wow, this is not good. Okay, well, I'm going to put this in the heart of Africa then. Well, that's fun. So I still got to kill the Chthonian and got that bad thing. I got the other rumor over there. It's all looking good. All right, let's got to figure out what I got to do here. All right, so we got to get this Chthonian out of here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Bob's ability to trade any number of items or trinkets with an investigator on any space. So he's going to give Pete the tear gas. All right, and then he's also going to focus. Okay, now Pete is going to prepare by gaining a ship token. Then he's going to move and spend the ship ticket. And so we're both going to attack the Chthonian. All right, so Bob's going to go first. Oh, actually, this isn't very good. So we got to do the will test first, or else I'm going to go insane. So, and then I don't even get to fight. So I better roll a success here. 4. Let's spend that focus. Oh, well, that was a 5, but it doesn't count. It's got to be in the thing. 1. Oh my gosh, this is not good here. Come on. Wrong way. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take 1 sanity damage here. Now, same as before, I'm using my influence instead. Get to roll 5 dice. Now I only have a clue left. Oh my gosh, what a horrible roll. Alright, spend a clue to reroll one of these. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's phenomenal. Okay, so Bob is done. Time for Pete. So Pete's got strength of 3, -2 is a 1, +2 from the Mauser, and I may reroll a die when resolving a strength test. I can also reroll with Duke, and I can throw the tear gas to reroll 2 dice, reduce the damage by 1. So 3 dice first here. Nothing. This is horrible. So let's use Duke first. There we go, there's one. And then we're gonna use the Mauser's ability to reroll one. Nope. Then we're gonna throw the tear gas to reroll 2. Oops. Okay, got one more. So that's cool. So I get hit with 1 damage and I hit it 2 more times. Almost dead. Oh, I almost forgot about my promise of power. I probably should have just discarded this first and rerolled all of my dice, but I get to reroll. I have 1 die left. I'm gonna discard this before it hurts me, I think, if the reckoning comes up. Come on, I could kill it with this. Yes! Ha ha! You are dead, Catonian. Okay, so he's gone. Sweet. That feels good. All right, 2 mysteries solved, so, well, at least it seems that way. But we gotta resolve the Mythos. Let's do that. Advance the Omen. Hits the blue, Doom goes down. Now we have a Monster Surge, so we're gonna get a monster in Tokyo. Only the ones that match. We have a Hunting Horror again. Boy, Tokyo's not looking good. Lots of monsters there, as it should be. And then we spawn a clue in space number 1. Well, yeah, Alaska. You should have never gambled with such high stakes. As you push your chair away from the table, the old man stops you. He lets you know that you have options. Maybe you can avoid having to pay what you owe. Maybe a friend can cover your debts. Bad karma. Starting with the lead investigator and proceeding clockwise, each investigator resolves one effect of his choice. He gains a dark pact. Or the investigator to his right loses 2 health and 2 sanity. Okay, looks like we're both gaining dark pacts. Okay, goody. Dark pacts. And unless something else can just get rid of a dark pact condition, you know, or a condition period, this will just happen on the next reckoning. The last time, I think, was the one that gave me all this impairment, so those are not fun. But we just solved the second mystery. If all the Ancient Catonians have been defeated, solve the mystery. So, on to the third mystery, hopefully. The final one, let's see, it's probably gonna be the worst thing ever. Exploring Gaharn. The ancient city of Gaharn was founded by the Elder Things, and in eons past served to guard Shudmel's subterranean prison. Now it is abandoned, and there are those who aim to profit from its untold riches. When this card enters play, place the mystery token on the Heart of Africa. Right where that thing is that I want to get rid of, but I have no clues for it. Oh well. Here we go. So put that token there. So as an encounter, an investigator on the Heart of Africa may explore Gaharn by resolving and exploring Gaharn special encounter. Oh. At the end of the Mythos phase, if there are Eldritch tokens on this card equal to half the number of investigators, solve this mystery. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Hopefully just succeeding in one of those special encounters does that. And I'm so close to that location. That is good. Of course, it's going to take 2 moves to get there because it's on a uncharted path. Here we go. So Bob is going to travel. Now we're in a city. He's going to rest. So he hopefully doesn't die or go insane when Mythos card comes up. And Pete is also going to travel. And I cannot rest because I'm poisoned. So I must flip this card. Arcane Infection. Your blood burns and causes your veins to glow bright. It is no blood poisoning that ails you, but something far more difficult to repel. Lore test. Let's reset our things here. Nope. Well, I'm gonna use Duke to reroll 1 die. Got it. Whew. If you pass, discard this card. Well, that's good. All that did was get rid of that. Well, that's fine. So now I'm going to have an encounter, so we're both just on a general encounter space. So Bob first. City. You dream of Mnomqua, an abhorrent creature living beneath the moon's surface. You sense that it wants to make an exchange, and it entices you with a mysterious rarity in exchange for its freedom. You may advance the omen by 1 to gain the moon 18 unique asset. I am not advancing the omen. Oh, the omen, not the doom. That'll go to green, but then if the Mythos advances it, it goes to blue. The doom's gonna go up 1. Only 1. I don't know what that moon thing is, but sounds fun. Why not? Let's live dangerously, because that's what this game's all about. Advance the omen, nothing happens, and I gotta get the moon's 18. Alright, so here's the moon 18. It's a tarot. Whenever I lose 1 or more sanity, I may gain a focus or spend 1 focus to improve 1 skill of your choice. Neato. Alright, so I'll put that there. Here. And now Pete's gonna have an encounter. A night watchman tells you that a crate of weapons has, quote, gone missing from his warehouse. You offer him some money to learn more. Influence. Which is 1. No, I'm not gonna try to... I can't reroll anyway. If you pass, blah blah blah. If you fail, he sends you into a trap. Lose a health and gain a leg injury condition. Hey, isn't that delightful? It's a bummer. Alright, so I got my leg injury, so it's just basically when I perform a rest, I can roll and possibly discard it. Otherwise, when a reckoning comes, I have to test strength. So it's eventually going to get bad. But as long as I could get to the next turn, I could hopefully maybe win the game. That's the end of the encounters. Time for the Mythos. Alright, advance the omen. So goes to blue. We have 1 blue gate. So the doom goes up by 1. 1 more and it would hit the devastation or the disaster card. Disaster. And we have another monster surge on Tokyo. Didn't we just do that? What did I get? What did I get? What did I get? A night gaunt. I'm sure he's friendly. Alright. And we spawn a clue. On space 2. Okay. You wake up from a nightmarish vision of streets running thick with blood. The details of the dream reveal the hidden truths of the forces aligned against you, but it is little comfort. You feel certain this dream heralds the end of all things. The sky is bleeding. Chicken Little would not like this. Ongoing. When this card enters play, the lead investigator gains 2 clues. Then resolve the reckoning effect of each Mythos. Okay, well, I get 2 clues, which means I could do the Return of the Garn thingy. We'll see. I don't know what's going to happen here. But no, because I want to do the other thing. We're at the end here. Reckoning effect of each Mythos card. So this one, oh no. I have to draw and resolve a disaster unless the lead investigator spends a clue. Well, guess what I'm going to do? Spend a clue, of course. Because if the disaster hit... Yeah, so I do not want a disaster because if it affects my guys, we're almost dead and it's not good. He's 2 away from insane. Here's 1 away from dying. And I'm only 1 space away from possibly winning the game. So, this Mythos one, we just discard an Eldritch token. There's still 1 left. Otherwise, we would have had to resolve 2 disasters. Ooh, talk about cutting it close. So that's the end of this one. So this is ongoing. Roll a die on a 1 or 2 advance. Okay, so we're going to put this next to this one. Wow. Okay, so I got to succeed on this or I don't know what's going to happen. Game will go on longer, but let's hope I can close it. I'm going to focus and move to the heart of Africa. Focus and move. And now I'm going to... Okay, so now we're going to explore Gaharn. So as an encounter, the Heart of Africa may explore by resolving a Exploring Gaharn special encounter. So, I think these are all Exploring Gaharn. Yep. Alright, so here we go. Bob Jenkins first. Unfamiliar with the area and having only the vaguest of notes left by a previous expedition, You barter with the shaman of a tribe that lives on the outskirts of Garn to lead you deeper into the lost city. Influence -1. Nope. Let's spend the focus, because I don't think I want to not succeed on this. Nope. Spending the clue. Nope. Not meant to be. The shaman readily agrees to be your guide. He leads you deeper into the domain of the dark master he serves. An ancient Catonian epic monster ambushes you. That's fantastic. So first I need to do the will check, which I only get to roll 1 die, and whoa, succeeded. I am not insane. All right. Now, strength -2, we're going to do that whole thing again. Influence and blah, blah, blah. It all comes out to 5 dice. No successes. And nothing more I can use to reroll. Ooh, with the trinket, when I lost that sanity, I could have gained a focus. So let's use it to reroll one of these. No, it didn't make a difference. Anyway, so 0, so I'm going to take 3 damage. Oh, well, you know what? I survived. And the ambush monster just goes away. So that was an exciting encounter. It's time for Pete. Ashcan Pete, can you do it? Gloringard. A vast subterranean chamber deep within a heavily fortified area of the ruins splits into 2 paths, both descending into darkness. Someone has written a riddle on the walls in blood. You think it is telling you which direction to go. Is it the castle of Observation -1. Failed, so spend my focus. I did not use Duke this round, did I? Okay, so I'm spending a focus to reroll the die. Oh my gosh, come on. Okay, now I'm going to use Duke. Oh well. You follow a path deeper into the earth for some time. By the time you realize your error, you are lost in the deep tunnels of Garn. Lose 3 sanity and become delayed. Well, losing 3 sanity makes me insane, so that's great. So close. But at least Bob's still alive, but I don't know what the next Mythos is going to do. So when an investigator is defeated, you advance Doom by 1. Which, in this case, causes a disaster to happen. Hurricane strikes Buenos Aires. Outside, you can hear the roar of powerful winds, embedding countless shards of lethal debris into the walls. The roof groans, threatening to disappear into the sky. Each investigator on Buenos Aires, or an adjacent space, thankfully is not me, loses 3 sanity, gains 2 injury conditions, and becomes delayed. Buenos Aires is devastated. See how bad that would have been had I been near it. Okay, so Buenos Aires is devastated. Then I move my investigator token to the nearest city space, lay it down, and mark that it was. And then I went insane. And discard all conditions, health and sanity. Okay, so then I put my possessions on my sheet to be encountered if that does happen. And I'll get to choose another investigator at the end of the Mythos phase. So that's that. All right, so let's do the Mythos. Oh, this is not going to end well here. So we advance the Omen, we hit red. Doom goes up by 1 for the Himalayas gate. And we have a Reckoning. So we start with monsters. So the Cultist, roll a die. On a 1 or 2, advance Doom by 1. Nope. And we have the Flying Polyp, move it to the nearest space containing a gate, which is where it is. The Night Gaunt, if there's an investigator on the space. Otherwise, move the monster 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. Okay, so 1, 2. Hunting Horror, move this monster to the nearest space containing an investigator. The investigator on that space immediately encounters it. Oh, Alright, so, will -1. Wow, this guy's pretty tough here. I'm gonna go insane. Wow, both guys are going insane right now. That's great. So, fail. 3 horror. He's insane. Well, takes care of those 2 guys. So we'll do the same thing. Card all this stuff. And he goes here. He's insane. Oh, Advanced Doom. Oof. And we continue the reckoning. So should Mel, each investigator, well, that's not going to apply. Then we have Mythos cards. So this one goes away. And now that it's down to 0, we resolve 2 disasters. Oh. Just when I thought it couldn't get more fun. Meteors fall on Istanbul. The rain of fiery stones shatters the city's marble columns and collapses its domes. The meteorite's thunderous barrage soon reduces the city to rubble. Each investigator on Istanbul loses 5 health and 3 sanity and gains 2 injury conditions, and Istanbul is devastated. Well, Istanbul goes out. By the way, if every of the major cities gets devastated, the game ends. One more. Upheaval. All around the world, locations of great importance are reduced to rubble overnight. Each investigator on the active expedition space, which is currently Tokyo, or an adjacent space loses 2 health and 2 sanity. Search the expedition encounter deck for each card corresponding to active expedition and return to the game box. Then shuffle the expedition encounter deck. Repeat this process 2 additional times. Oh my gosh. So the active expedition space is Tokyo. Nobody's there. Nobody's going to be anywhere. Oh my gosh. Return every Tokyo to the game box. Then shuffle it. Then repeat it 2 more times. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the next one after shuffling is Arkham. So I'm going to remove all the Arkham cards. Right, and the last one is Tunguska. All right, so after all that, London is the new expedition encounter space. All right, so I finally finished this second disaster card, which was a result of the first Mythos Reckoning. So this one is draw and resolve disaster unless the lead investigator spends a clue. I don't have the ability to do that, so another disaster happens. Terrifying creatures overwhelm Arkham. The streets are littered with mangled bodies torn apart by something enormous and cruel. You look up and see 2 moons glowering above the gambrel roofs. Spawn a number of monsters on Arkham equal to half the number of investigators plus 2. Each investigator adjacent to Arkham moves to Arkham, then each investigator on Arkham becomes delayed. Arkham is devastated. So spawn a number of monsters equal to, so 3 monsters spawn on Arkham and it's devastated. Okay. 2, 3, oop, that one. 3, we have a Vitch, a Meagle, and a Cultist. Green thing on the Cultist. Alright, I'm just going to stack them. I'm not going to put them in the stands right now. And Arkham's devastated. Oy, oy, oy. That clue's no good anymore. Now this one, so roll a die and a 1 or 2, advance doom by 1. Which will cause another disaster. And nope, roll a 5. Sweet. Okay, so that's all the Mythos cards. Now possessions, but nobody's left for that. All right, so now we spawn a gate. On Rome. Rome is devastated, and I think things don't spawn in anything devastated. Okay, so actually, the devastation encounters thing says that if a clue would be spawned, discard it instead, and it cannot be moved to a space, but it doesn't say anything if the clue was already there. And it doesn't say anything about gates, so it only says location encounters, but gates are considered token encounters, and so are clues, so they're both going to be there. It's going to put another monster there. The Lang Spider. Friendly. That's a nasty spot, isn't it? It has been months since you have known a home-cooked meal or the warmth of congenial conversation. Time is of the essence, but you cannot deny the restorative value of a few days spent resting and recovering. Safe haven. Event. Each investigator may become delayed to discard 1 non-dealing. Okay, so we know that's not happening. Okay, so this is kind of cool because now I get to do something that is allowed in the rules, and I'm going to try to find, I think there's at least 1 investigator I think starts in the heart of Africa. I'm going to see if there's 2, and I'm just going to plop them right there, see if I can win the game. All right, so let me do all that. Here we go. We're gonna see if the ladies can clean up these guys' messes. They went insane. So we got Sister Mary visiting the guys down here in South Africa. She comes in with a clue and some holy water and a ship ticket. And her holy water allows her to discard it to gain +5 will and strength during a combat encounter, or use an action discarded to choose an investigator on your space to gain a blessed condition. Oh, yes. I didn't even see that. Okay, then Ursula starts right in the heart of Africa where she needs to be with a mineralogy research, which after resolving a general encounter or an expedition encounter in the wilderness space, she may examine an area's soil, gain 2... Okay, well that's kind of cool, but not really needed now. Let's see, as an action, she can move a space along an uncharted path, then perform an additional action. Once per round, another space may spend one less focus to pay for an effect. So then Sister Mary, as you and another investigator in your space, add 1 to the result of each die rolled as part of a bane or boon condition. Oh, yes. So she's going to move, discard the holy water, give Ursula a blessed condition, which will then, when Ursula uses the blessed condition, add 1 to the result of each die rolled as part of a bane or boon condition effect. Awesome. Or she can test will for each success you or another investigator on any space may discard a madness condition. Because, well, yeah, I'll have Ursula be first. So she's sitting there in a wilderness space, so she's going to focus once. And then can't rest, can't trade, can't do a component action, move a space. Nope. Can't really do anything else. So that's it. She's going to focus. And then Sister Mary is going to move. And then, as an action, discard the holy water, which gives Ursula a blessed condition. So now 4, 5s, and 6s count as successes. And Sister Mary adds 1 to the result of each die rolled as part of a boon condition. Okay, so this only applies when you are rolling for the reckoning effect, not just this static counting things as successes, because that's not a die roll as part of a bane effect. The die roll on this card is there. That's just a static effect. Back to exploring Garn. You descend a rocky path into a massive rift that spans half the city. Crumbling stones litter the ravine below, remnants of buildings that were once level with the city above. You enter a large tunnel at the base of the ravine in search of whatever caused the city's destruction. Observation -1. There we go. Oops, that was a 5 before it rolled over. You come across what appears to be a nest of gargantuan eggs. As you approach, you find yourself fighting for control of your body. Leroy Jenkins. Will -1. Ugh, of course. My lowest thing. 4. Boom. Blessed condition in effect. If you pass, you flee the cavern with your mind intact. Place an Eldritch token on the active mystery. There we go. Okay. Alright. Okay, got that. Now, Sister Mary gets a try. Even though I only need 1, still, you never know what'll happen when other cards flip in this game. Bad things can happen, like, oh, discard one of the mysteries you already solved. You walk about the ruined city, noting the many instances of one oddly familiar symbol carved into stones and etched upon walls as you go. You take care not to disturb anything the symbol touches. Will -1, which is 3. Got it. You try to remember where you have seen the symbol before. Lore -1, which is 1. Oof. Let's reroll. Got it. If you pass, you recognize it as the Elder Sign. Place 1 Eldritch token on the active mystery. Boom. If you fail, blah, blah, blah. Okay, get through the Mythos phase here. Alright, yeah, it's the Omen track. We have one blue gate, Doom advances, and now we're going to have a disaster. Shanghai flooded. Panicked survivors clambered to the rooftops, clutching what few heirlooms they could rescue below. The rapidly rising waters swallowed the streets. Each investigator on Shanghai loses 5 sanity. Gains 2 injury conditions and becomes delayed. Shanghai is devastated. Good thing nobody's there. Okay, now we have the Reckoning, so monsters first. Alright, so let's go over here. First, we've got, 3 things. Okay, so the Cultist, roll a die. On a 1 or 2, advance Doom by 1. Doom is down to 4. Then we have the Migo. Discard the nearest clue and move this monster to that space. It's right where it already is, so that clue is now gone. He ate it. And the Witch is each investigator who has a curse condition loses a health. Nobody has a curse condition. Okay. Another Cultist. Advanced Doom. Down to 3. The Night Gaunt. There's an investigator on this space. Move him in this monster 1 space and he becomes delayed. Otherwise, move this monster 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator. 1 and a 2. Hello. Oof. And the Flying Polyp. Move this monster to the nearest space containing a gate. Still where it is. Okay. So now the Ancient One. Each investigator loses a total of 2 health and or sanity. I'm not going to do it. I don't think it's going to make a difference. And Mythos cards. So draw and resolve a disaster unless the lead investigator spends a clue. Oh my gosh. Destructive Cyclone. The sky turns a pale green and the air grows deathly still. Every bird and scurrying creature races to find shelter from the oncoming storm. The lead investigator and other investigators within 2 spaces each lose 2 sanity, move to a random space, and become delayed. So that's not going to make anyone go insane yet, so move to a random space and become delayed. Okay, so they would move first. Ursula goes to space 8 and becomes delayed. Then Sister Mary goes to Rome, becomes delayed. Now roll a die on a 1 or 2, advance Doom by 1. Ay, ay, ay. But the sky is bleeding. Oh, thank God. That would have been another disaster would have happened if I had rolled a 1 or 2. All right, now conditions. Roll a die on a 1 or 2. Discard the blessed condition. Nope. Keep it. That's it. Okay, so that was just the Reckoning. Now we spawn a gate. Goes to the Amazon. Let's see, what's this? Another Cultist. There we go, on the Amazon. Now the horrid thing is not the only threat. The gruesome images of its victims have begun to manifest. The spectral figures demand justice and they will not let you rest until their deaths have been avenged. Hideous Apparitions. Event. Investigators as a group lose a total amount of sanity equal to the number of monsters on the game board. Each investigator that lost sanity from this effect gains a madness condition. Equal, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So they're both insane now. They were already lost plenty of sanity. So they saved the world and went insane. But because I have survived at the end of the Mythos phase of their Elder Tokens, solved this mystery. So that's 3 mysteries solved. I have saved the world. I can't believe it. This expansion is super hard. As you can see, it really exploded at the end there. Had that happened earlier in the game, yeah, it would have been a lot worse. And so Doom was getting down quickly, so Shudmel was going to awaken in 3 more advances, and advanced 3 just on that round, I think. So, but I did it. Awesome. Feels good when you beat this game. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you got good insight onto how Cities in Ruin is. It can be fun, it can be very brutal. It's the most brutal of the expansions I've played for sure, because it just, you can't use cities' abilities anymore if you need them. You can't even use them to rest or do other things. It gets difficult. The first couple times I played, Tokyo became devastated, and then I needed it to defeat monsters, and I couldn't use it for that. And I had a monster out that only spells would work, and I had no spells, and I couldn't get spells, and it was, oh my gosh, it was so hard. But this one, everything kind of went pretty well. It got pretty rough, but in the end, we prevailed. So that's it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you like this video, please subscribe, give the video a like, and tell your friends and family and everyone about it. And, you know, if you haven't got this game yet, go get it. It's fantastic. I have all of the expansions. As you can see, there is so much content. Look at this. Once you get all the expansion, this is my pile of investigators that I still have to pick from. So many of them, so many abilities, so much replayability. I mean, this is the stack of just the gate encounter cards. There's just so much you can do. I mean, look at the size of the asset deck. I mean, come on. So fantastic. Love this game. I am going to do another video. The next time I do an Eldritch Horror video, I'm going to do it with the Under the Pyramids expansion as requested as well. And something I was already planning to do. I wanted to get an Indiana Jones style game in there and play with one of the mysteries from that, or whatever it is, the story thing that goes with that expansion. So I think it'll be fun. So that's it for now. Hope you liked it. I'll see you next time. Game on. End of line.